My name is Susie McNicholas, and a year ago today, I lost my job. After 15 years in marketing, this part of my identity, my craft, my vocation, got yanked away from me just like that. It had never happened to me before, and it left me reeling. Now, unfortunately, this part of my story is not unique. Everybody in this room probably knows somebody who lost their job in the past year, or maybe it's even happened to you. So I woke up every morning and frantically searched the job boards online, like so many others. I made phone calls and had coffee meetings and networked anything and everything I could think of to try to get my foot in the door, any door. But nothing was happening. And then I got a phone call from a former supervisor of mine who said he had a position for me. Except it wasn't marketing, it was something else, and something I'd never done before. But it was a job, there it was, the J-O-B dangling right in front of my face with promises of a steady income and benefits and business cards. And then a former colleague of mine asked me to read her book. It was just a manuscript at the time, and it arrived in a box, and it was just, 170 pages or so loosely stacked in order. It took me 2 days to read it. And I remember on the second day when I finished reading it, I turned the last page over and picked up all the pages and put them back in the box and put the cover on, and I pushed myself back from the dining room table where I was sitting and walked into our home office where my husband was working. And I said, "Rory, I'm not going to take that job." You see this book? On the back of the book, there's a quote from a worker. That worker is me. So my poor husband, at the news that I would be rejecting the highly sought-after J-O-B, said something like, "Okay." And I said to him, "I got a book you got to read. You've got to read this book." And I've been saying it ever since, and he is reading the book now. But the change he saw in me then and the changes he's seen in me since then have left absolutely no doubt whatsoever in his mind that I made the right decision, and that's the truth. And he's here tonight, and you can ask him. It turns out that marketing is a good fit for me, for my talent themes, based on what I learned in the book and going through the process, which isn't a huge surprise to me because I've always really loved what I did. But there were a few other revelations that came to me as a result of reading the book and going through the process. And one of them, and probably the biggest one for me, I've spent the last 15 years of my career chasing the next corporate title because I thought that a big title meant big value. And when I say value, I don't mean value to me like compensation. I mean, that's part of it, but I'm talking about being able to deliver big value. I mean, getting to a position or a level in an organization where you can really make an impact. I mean, really deliver value. It turns out I was wrong. I was completely wrong. You don't need a big title to deliver big value at all. That was a shock for me. I didn't know. I'm 39 years old. I'm just figuring this stuff out. The second revelation for me was that I figured out that I could choose who I wanted to work with based on my criteria as opposed to the other way around. I had friends who were asking me over the past year how the job search was going, and I kept having to correct them and tell them I was no longer searching for a job, but I was interviewing potential bosses. And then the last thing for me was this book helped me put together a blueprint. There were a few other industries that I always wanted to explore but didn't quite know how. I've worked in technology for many, many years, so I didn't really know how to break out of that and try something else, and this book helped me get through that. So today I'm a freelance marketer by choice. And what's really funny to me is instead of one title, I now have a whole bunch of titles. So over here, for this firm, I'm the promotions director, and for that firm, I'm the business manager, and that company hired me to be a copywriter, and that company needs me to be a project manager. I recently had some business cards printed up and I know you can't read them from there, but under my name it says Marketing Communications. There's no title, and there's no company name. It's just me, every day, waking up and doing what I love to do, and hopefully delivering big value for my clients. I am living proof that this book changes lives. My story continues to unfold, and I am just smiling my way through this process. I don't think I've ever had so much fun. So Marilyn, I know this book was no small feat for you, but I want to thank you personally for putting it out there. It has made a difference in my life, and I thank you for that.